Hello, welcome back. In this video, we're going to use the tuna we caught in that tuna fishing trip, linked up there in the cards, to make spicy tuna rolls. These are easy to make at home and they're really good. You guys are going to love it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and the bell icon so you don't miss any videos like this one. Check this out. Alright, to make the spicy tuna, we have our tuna, of course. That's probably about a half a pound. Soy sauce, sesame oil, sriracha, very important, and get the stuff with the rooster on it. That's the good stuff. I'm going to use agave instead of honey or sugar. I would rather use honey or agave either way than sugar, just because you don't have to have the granular stuff in there, and it's a good sweetener. Some sliced and seeded cucumber, some nori cut into half sheets, and I've got some sushi rice prepared off camera. Now the first thing we're going to do is dice up this tuna, and I'm using tuna from the back part of the fish. Notice the kind of the white membrane. This is a little chewy if you're using it for sashimi, but for stuff like this or a poke bowl, it's perfect. So we're just going to slice this up and kind of dice it up nice and fine. If you want to use this in a poke bowl using the same ingredients, you certainly can. You're just going to slice it up not quite as fine, and of course you're not going to be rolling it into a roll. So we've got that pretty finely diced up. And again, if you're going to do this in a poke bowl, you might not go quite as fine. I wouldn't. But this is going to be just right for these spicy tuna rolls. All right, we have our tuna into a bowl. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of sriracha. One tablespoon of soy. A teaspoon of agave. This could be sugar or honey, but I'm using agave. And a teaspoon of sesame oil. And we're just going to mix all of that up. Now some recipes call for scallions as well. I'm not a big scallion guy, so I'm going to leave those out this time. But if you like them, this would be a good time to throw them in as well. There we go. We'll just set that aside. All right, one thing I forgot in my ingredients list, black sesame seeds. I finally found some of those, so those are going to be real good on this too. All right, so we'll start with wet hands. Get us some rice and spread that over our half sheet of nori. We want this probably just 2 or 3 grains of rice thick. Should be able to see the nori peeking through. We're going to take it all the way to the edges. Now those black sesame seeds, just going to put a little bit on there. These give a nice little toasted character to the sushi, so if you like that, put more on. If you don't, put less, or just use regular sesame seeds. You can do that too. Now we're going to just flip this whole thing over. I like to give it just a little press to make sure those sesame seeds stick to the rice good. Now we're going to spoon a little of our tuna on here. Not too thick, because we want to be able to roll this dude up. There we go. Add a piece of our cucumber in there. Bring that in kind of snug. Now what we're going to do is kind of lift up on this and roll this right over, tucking it around and making sure it touches the other side of that nori. Give it a little gentle squeeze. And just continue to roll that over. Give it a nice little squeeze, not so much that all your ingredients come squirting out the ends. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, look at there. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Transfer that to the cutting board. And we'll do a little plastic wrap trick to help cutting this go a lot easier. You still want to start with a clean knife, and a wet blade helps a lot. So we're going to cut this in the middle. And in the middle of that end. So we end up with 8 pieces here. in the middle of the other end. Nice sawing motion. Do not shove your knife through. You'll mess it all up. When you get a little bit of that rice stuff on the knife, just wipe it off and wet your blade again. Make your cutting go a lot better. A really good sharp knife helps too. There we go. And that looks good. Now let's roll up another one. Wet your hands, rice on the nori. Spread it out nice and thin. If you need to know how to make good sushi rice, that recipe is actually in my first tuna roll recipe. It covers how to make the rice as well. It is different. It's not the same as just making regular old white rice. It's a vinegared rice, and that recipe will be on that video linked up there in the cards. And you will want to have some good sushi rice to do this. Our nice toasted sesame seeds. Flip it. Tuna mixture. You'll never get it rolled up if you get it too thick. Cucumber. I'm asking for it. This one's pretty thick. We're going to try to roll it up. See what that looks like. Got a little squishage at the end there. It's alright. The rest of it looks like it just about made it. Put that on the bottom. If you get one that doesn't make it all the way, don't panic. Not a big deal. Just put that part on the bottom and it'll slice right up. You won't have any trouble. Plastic wrap is also good for helping you tuck your ends back in. Keep things good and tight together. Cut gently. Oh, that's going to be good. All right, we got a whole plate. That's 3 rolls worth. And a little bit of my favorite spicy mayo, homemade. And I like a little oyster sauce on there as well. The eel sauce works good too, if you have any. Now that right there is a good plate of spicy tuna roll if I ever saw one. All right, you know we got to give one of these a try. You have got to make this at home. This is fantastic. This is as good as anything you will ever get out. Thanks for watching. There's links up there in the cards for the other sushi making series. And I'm going to have a recipe for the spicy mayo coming up as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. A teaspoon of agave, which isn't open yet.